Go! Go Megaforce. I know it's supposed to be the Go Say Morpher, but I don't have one on me right now. What's up, everyone? It is Anthony from Heroes of Fandom, and happy Power Month! Oh my goodness, Power Rangers turns 30 this month. That is so exciting. Oh my goodness, we got a lot of good content for you guys this month. Today, we got a very special video. This is actually the beginning of a mini-series for this month. And in this series, we're going to be rewriting Power Rangers Megaforce and Super Megaforce. I know, right? What a way to spend Power Month. To rewrite one of the most infamous shows in the franchise. But, listen, I've had this idea for, years now. I've been writing this down since, years. Since I was in college, so a while. I hope you guys like it. I know there's a lot of fan fiction and stuff like that, but for this mini series, I am going to try my absolute best to be as realistic as possible. Realistic in the sense of what would they have been able to do? What kind of things would they have been able to pull off? The writing, the directing, producing, all that behind the scenes stuff. Of course, I took some liberties. I mean, of course, I kind of imagined them putting more money into this season. So I kind of went a little bit above, but I think overall it's realistic, but at the same time a little bit of fan service, and just trying to, I don't know, just trying to get some of my ideas out there, like how would I have made this season? Or I guess these two seasons, technically. So how this mini-series is going to work is I'm actually going to be going episode by episode, saying the episode title, and giving a short description of what happens in the episode. Now, I'm not going to go into huge detail about filler episodes. Those are going to be probably more or less the same as what we saw in the actual episodes. But as far as plot heavy episodes, episodes that kind of move the story along and everything, that's when I'll get into more detail. I'll mention when Zords debut, Megazords debut, any, of course, new Rangers when they debut, of course, villains, the obvious ones. Also, when we get into Super Megaforce portion, I will mention what Super Mega Modes we'll be seeing in each episode, because there's gonna be a lot of changes. Yes, I really hope you guys like it. Yeah, let's start this off. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because we are going to have a lot this month, and it's just an exciting month. 30 years of Power Rangers. Oh my goodness. I got my notes here too. I got like 14 pages worth of stuff here. Look at this. Let's try it out. So we got Power Rangers Megaforce, of course, season 1 of the duo. So I guess technically this would be season 20 overall. But here we go. Power Rangers Megaforce episode 1, Mega Mission. The opening scene will be somewhat similar to the original scene. So in the original scene, we had Troy in the bus asleep, and he was dreaming of the legendary battle. In my version, we are first shown a dream of past Ranger teams getting their powers stolen and turned into power cards by the Armada of Evil. So I changed the name of the Armada slightly to the Armada of Evil because I kind of wanted to make it a callback to the United Alliance of Evil back in Power Rangers in Space. So Armada of Evil, United Alliance of Evil, get it? Troy, the new kid at school, is woken up by his mother who drove him there. So instead of him in the bus, his mom's driving him, and his mom is going to be kind of an important character throughout the show. More so in Super Megaforce. Honestly, actually not till really the last half of Super Megaforce, but we'll get there when we get there. But kind of give the Megaforce Rangers a sense of hey, these are real kids with parents. Who would have thought? We are introduced to the 4 other Rangers at school. Their characters and personalities are pretty much the same, except for the fact that Gia and Jake are actually cousins. Then we see the Warstar aliens in their ship planning to invade Earth. Brock inserts a power card into the Monster of the Week Scaraba. These cards are the source of the monster's powers and abilities. Like the original episode, Gosei, who was mentored by Zordon, summons 5 teenagers with attitude. And Gosei will be a much more helpful and useful mentor in my version. Because, yeah, Gosei he didn't do anything. Like, I want the fact that he is a student of Zordon to, like, mean something. I want that to mean something. The Ranger keys lined up in the base are actually stone. So, you know, in the original show, they have, like, all of the Ranger keys lined up in the base. So in my version, they'll be lined up in the base, but they're actually just stone figures shaped like Ranger keys, but they're not the actual Ranger keys. They're just stones shaped like Ranger keys. They're not like Ranger keys in stone, if that makes sense. The rest of the episode is practically the same. However, when the Rangers finally defeat the villain of the episode, the power card appears, and it turns out to be the Samurai Legendary Power Card. Troy recognizes the picture on the card, but he's not sure from where. And the plot already thickens. Also, I have to mention that just because I'm doing a rewrite doesn't mean I'm talking badly about the actors. I actually really enjoyed the cast. So in this rewrite, in my imagination, I'm not replacing any of the cast. Like, all the characters, all the cast I should say, are gonna be the same. Episode 2, originally called He Blasted Me with Science, I'm rewriting it to be called Getting Schooled by School. This also marks the debut of the Megazords and the Gosei Great Megazord. We get more backstory. Gosei tells the Rangers that within the past year, the Armada of Evil has traveled throughout space and time, and of course in Earth, to steal the powers of every Power Ranger and turn them into legendary power cards, similar to the power cards that the Megaforce Rangers use. The Rangers were able to retrieve the samurai powers in the last episode. Gosei isn't sure why the War Star aliens have the legendary power cards, but he tells the Rangers to retrieve them anyway. Once they retrieve a card, the Rangers can use it to unlock powers and weapons related to that team. While Gosei is giving this explanation, Jake is kind of doing his own thing. He has pretty much the same personality, but he doesn't really pay attention in school. Like, he just doesn't care to listen to the teacher, or even, I guess, Gosei in this instance. So that's kind of the moral of the story this episode. Over the course of Megaforce and going into Super Megaforce, I want there to be a kind of character development for Jake and Noah, since they are best friends, and I want them to kind of learn from each other. Jake becoming more studious and using his brain more, while Noah becomes less fearless. And by the end of the episode, the Rangers use the Samurai card to defeat the villain of the episode and obtain the Mystic Force card that the villain has. And when the Rangers use a card, I imagine that they get some sort of weaponry that of whatever legendary team they're using. So for Samurai, I would imagine the Megaforce Rangers get the spin swords or something. So maybe they use the spin swords to defeat the bad guy or something. Episode 3, Calm, Cool, and Collected. This is replacing the original episode 6, which was Harmony and Discord. It's also based off of Epic 3 of Goseiger. A rivalry between Creepbox and Troy is solidified, and this is a Gia-focused episode, especially since she did not get a single focused episode throughout Megaforce and Super Megaforce. I mean, she shared one with Emma in Megaforce, but that was still more Emma's focus episode, so we gotta give Gia something. Gia rushes into battle without calling for help, and she learns to work in a team, and that's pretty much going to be the lesson of the week. And of course, the Rangers use the Mystic Force card and obtain the SPD card. So that's gonna be kind of the layout, kind of. They are going to gain a legendary card in one episode, and they'll use that card in the next one, just to, showcase, all the legendary powers. Episode 4, Going Viral. This is the debut of the C Brothers Zords. This is just your typical filler episode. And here the Rangers are going to use the SPD card and obtain the RPM card. Episode 5 is also going to be a filler episode. It's going to be pretty much more or less the same as the original, Stranger Ranger, and this is the debut of the Land Brothers Zords. The Rangers will use the RPM card and obtain the Jungle Fury card. Episode 6 is going to be called Friends and Foes, originally called United We Stand. This is the Sky Brothers debut. This is actually the episode that I was talking about earlier with Emma and Gia. Here, the Rangers use the Jungle Fury card and obtain the Lightspeed Rescue card. Episode 7, Who's Crying Now? This is the debut of the Ultra Gosei Great Megazord. So here we get some backstory for Troy, and yeah, Troy's gonna be an interesting character in this version of Megaforce. Troy's father, who was in the army, fought evil aliens during Countdown to Destruction back in Power Rangers in Space to protect his then pregnant wife. It's implied that he died. Troy is born not too long after the events of Countdown to Destruction. Troy's stoic nature comes from his father, according to his mother. The Rangers use the Lightspeed Rescue card, and Creepox is destroyed by Troy. I know that would make Troy fairly young, but whatever. Episode 8, Knight in Robotic Armor, originally just called Robo Knight. After the destruction of Creepox, Malcor decides to go into his cocoon to go through metamorphosis to seek revenge for his fallen comrade. He mentions that this will be a long process, so he appoints Vrock as head of Warstar. However, Vrock has other plans. Vrock meets Bluefur and Biggs. He offers them a legendary power card to use against the Rangers. Of course, this is Robo Knight's debut, and after Robo Knight defeats the monster Hisser, the Rangers gain the Wild Force power card. Episode 9 will be called Heart of Steel. This is the debut of the Gosei Grand Megazord. This is the first time Vrock captures Robo Knight and tries to turn him into Dark Robo Knight. But, of course, he fails. The Rangers use the Wild Force card and gain the In-Space card. Episode 10, Man and Machine. This is the debut of the Gosei Great Grand Megazord. The Rangers use the In-Space card and gain the Ninja Storm card.